Esther. Welcome to Mimosas and Chismosas, where we're going to drink, gossip, and unpack our Latin trauma, one mimosa at a time. So,
Latin
cheers.
Trauma is hilarious.
And
Cheers,
shout out
my
to
love.
Kiera, who got me on Darling Mimosas. We're going
you
to try
so
these
much.
today. So first off, I'm kind of nervous because you do so good on camera and speaking.
You're so cute. That, like you said that earlier too, and I'm like, really with you? I feel so like, oh, we're really gonna kiki and just chill. Like, it's so nice.
I
to,
know,
like,
but last time you were so like easy to talk to, and then now me, I'm like leading the convo, and I'm like, it feels weird. Like I'm good at following it, but not like leading it so much. But
no, I'm nervous. Panic.
Sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm absolutely kidding.
Okay.
No, it'll be.
But no,
fun.
thank you for coming. I know I asked you, and I was like, this subject, how do you feel? So, because I know for some people it's a little weird, but it's true. Like body image in our culture is a whole other problem.
And not just in our culture, but like the added layer of being a woman in our culture. Because there's like, I'm like, actually, can the Latino men speak up? Is there body culture trauma for them? Because I
No.
can't recall.
No, they can have a beer belly and it's fine. They're just well fed.
Yes,
They're well fed. Their
That
wife
part.
is taking care of them.
that part. They can
But
go
if
for
we-
seconds, thirds, fourths, and no
Yeah.
one's batting an eyelash.
But if we have a belly, we're not taking care of ourselves for them. So
that's actually so true. This
Yeah.
is crazy.
But I think it was hard because think about it. At least for me, I didn't grow up like around a whole lot of Latinas, but I watched Selena and J-Lo. So I wanted a big ass booty.
yeah,
But then I also wanted a thigh gap because I'm watching like Paris Hilton and
early
all of
2000s come through.
them, right? So I was like, what do I want? Like in my head now, if I draw it out, I'm like, that'd be a very weird image, like a thigh gap and a giant ass, because it's always like, what is right? I mean, at least for me, I know growing up, it was like, oh, you're so skinny. So I was like, okay, should I eat more? And then I got a little bit of weight and they're like, oh, you're a little fat. And it wasn't, I was 100 pounds and that's considered fat.
That's actually wild. You know what, too? I think that, like, I can't speak for everyone, but when I think about my mom and her generation and her siblings and, like, their background, it's like, yeah, I feel like a lot of, there wasn't even, like, I don't know that there was space to think about body image because I'm like, a lot of them grew up in poverty. So it's like, maybe obesity wasn't their problem then.
I don't know if I should laugh.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because that's what I think about when I think about like the women who raised me. First of all, I think this is a rare experience for a lot of girls. I feel very grateful that like, I remember oddly that my mom never commented to me about my body ever. And I can remember the first time I even started to become aware of my body was in school.
Oh,
when
yeah.
like I was like in junior kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, and like I had a mustache because I was a furry
Because
little
we're
girl.
Spanish and we're not allowed to shave our legs. We're not allowed to do our eyebrows until you're old enough.
Like literally grooming is not a thing.
Yeah.
Keep your hair. But no, I remember like not realizing, I was going to say, I didn't know I was ugly till a little kid told me I was, like, you know, and like, I promise you, I started school having no concept of like my body image or like
Yeah.
what like all I believed was that my mom loved me, my family loves me, and like to them I'm like the light of their life. So like I'm grateful that I grew up in a home like that where like it was just, they were always loving on me and like my grandparents too. But then I got to school and it was like, oh, are you a boy? You have a mustache, you have hairy legs and all these things. And I'm like, wow, prior to this, I did not realize these things. So
Do you have a bowl cut?
why does everyone go through that?
Because I do. And if I showed you my citizenship, like, because I was like straight up fob.
Oh my God.
It's the worst.
Well, I'm like to my mom, like, what was she doing? It's funny. They tell me this story so much that, you know, when a story of your childhood is told to you so many times that you don't even know if you're remembering it yourself. You just feel like you remember it now because it's been told to you so many
Yeah.
times. So that story for me is when I was about to start kindergarten and my mom decided to chop off all my hair to my ears. I don't know why she made this choice, but when I saw myself in the mirror, I started sobbing. And I'm like, I was asking her to glue it back on. I was like, please, please. I don't remember this, thank God. Maybe it's just like buried in my subconscious because it hurt me so much. But I was like, why did she do that? So yes, I can identify with your trauma of a bowl cut.
Honestly, the hairy legs, the boy cut, I know. But I don't think it was my mom and my family directly that like spoke about my body, but there was like, you know, the tias, the extended family, the cousins that we, you know, just all these people, and your body was like, or anyone's body really, not just mine, but just people's body in general. It was like a subject of conversation, just like the weather. And it's like, have you seen so-and-so? She's so fat. Why is she wearing that? Why is she wearing that? Because like her body should not be in that. And it was like, okay. So then I started like growing up like, should I wear this? Should I not wear this? Like, do I look right in this? And I mean, I'm not going to lie, it fucked me up. Even like yesterday, I was like having a crisis at home and I was like, should I have a mimosa tomorrow? Because I'm like, that is like 170 calories. I'm like, do I need that? And it still fucks with my head. Like I joke about it because I joke about all the pain, but like, it's so fucked up.
You know what's weird? It's like, so to your point, I think that like at any family gathering, party, all those things, I think the reason why it's always a topic of conversation is because it's just like the first thing you see, right? And I went through a lot of my life not really getting those comments until I really came into some weight gain. Like transparently, I hope no one feels uncomfortable talking about weight, but like I was like the same weight for like a lot of my life until maybe when I was like 23. I'm 30 now. So when I was like 23, I think I came into like my first, like I really put on some weight. Like I was just eating whatever I wanted. I wasn't working out, all these things. So I put on the most weight I had ever put on ever. And I think that like my tias and like my extended family and just family friends, like, you know, that was their first time seeing me a little fuller, a little fluffier. And I remember being so thrown off after years of like hearing how they would speak about other women or other people and like esa panza and all that stuff. To hear those comments directed to me would be like, oh, like literally to my face, like, te veo más gordita. Like you're looking a little chubbier to me. I'm like, how are you saying this to me? I actually like, you can't even cry in those moments. Like you're so like,
Cry after.
You literally cry after and you're so thrown off by it that like, I literally laughed. I remember laughing and thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe she just said that to my face. And you know, you just kind of, and I think also in our culture and maybe other cultures can relate, you kind of have to like your family are the first people that bully you. That's why the world
They're going to humble you so fast.
They humble you so quick and the world can't hurt you because of that. But like, I literally was like, yeah, I'm eating good. That's why. Like, you know, you have to be quick with it or else it will break you in that moment. So it's like, I remember the first time that happened and then it kept happening and it still happens. And I'm like, I mean, none of them are ever going to see this video because I don't think they're going to find it. But if they did, stop doing that. Stop telling me that I gain weight. I know. But it's like, that's the thing, right? It's like, it's just wild to me how like that happens. Cause like, I could never, like, I don't know. And I think that's also like not, to an extent, it's not their fault. Cause I'm sure they grew up that, right? Like, it's also like,
it was normal.
Like, how do you come to me and say, oh my God, you're looking bigger these days? You don't hear me saying, oh, you're looking older and wrinkly these days. Like, I'm not doing that.
But I think they think they're helping, right? By saying that to like make you aware of.
Subconscious.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, she'll want to lose the weight. But even my little sister was really chubby. And my dad was like savage. He'd be like, oh, tiene cintura de pollo. And I was like, but chickens don't have a waist. He's like, exactly. And I was like,
your dad is disrespectful for that. I think interestingly too, in our culture, it's almost, there's like endearing ways to go about it too. Like, you know, the nickname gordo, gordita, like those are kind of terms of endearment too, to an extent. Like you can always tell when it's not meant like that, or when it's like it's like a half joke kind of thing. But then there's times where like, okay, like you've been called this since birth because you were born like a chubby baby, you know, and that nickname never dropped. But like, yeah, I definitely think there's levels to it and layers to it. And like you were talking about how like you were thinking about how to dress and stuff. I think that's so interesting because like I feel like just across Latin America, like Catholicism is like plays a big role in our culture, whether you are practicing Catholic or not, or whatever denomination of Christianity you are. It's like usually like the biggest religion in Latin America, right? And I think about like how if you grew up in the church too, that's another layer. Like if your mom dressed you for church, like you're wearing pantyhose with oh my goodness. I remember the first time I didn't wear pantyhose under a dress. Like I was probably like 14, 15. No, I was probably like 12, 13. Like I didn't want to wear pantyhose because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're not wearing pantyhose. Like that's so weird. And I'm like, is it though? Like it's just interesting how like the customs and the traditions and when you first break away from that, right?
But
Like,
they're going, okay, so I don't go to church, never went to church except like, you know, when it was with the school. So I didn't grow up like my family believes in something, but they don't practice. Like they don't think you have to go to church. Because it's so funny what my mom says. She's like, why am I going to go to church? She's like, all the viejas act like a saint. And she's like, as soon as they step out of the church, they're judging the people they just saw in the church. And I'm like, I mean, she's not wrong, right? So for me, it was never like I had a dress code. Like, I mean, my mom tries to enforce a dress code now and I'm in my 30s.
did you go to Catholic school? High school?
Yeah.
Did you have a kilt?
Yeah.
That too. It's like
Did I have a kilt?
like the whole like monitoring of girls, like teenage girls, like how they dressed and stuff.
So then why are you giving us these tiny kilts and like sexualizing it? Like you're giving us like these like stockings and stuff. It's like, just give us pants. Like I liked it, but at this point you're like, why are you doing that? But yes, I did go to a Catholic all-girl school.
I just remember like it was like scandalous if you hemmed your skirt up to a certain length. Like, oh, like there was like the girls whose mothers let them, and then there was the girls who their moms didn't let them. So you had to like roll.
Oh, I rolled mine.
Yeah, that was like I was one of those. Like my mom was like, "What do you mean you want to cut it?" You know.
Yeah.
And so I remember rolling mine up, and just like, and then that's the other thing, right? When you're in high school, you do have this uniform. But like for some girls, they could wear their kilts very short. But if you had like a curvier body, or
Because your ass was out.
yeah, if you weren't as thin as others, like
Yeah.
you'd either get called out or not. And I think that's like another season of your life where you become hyper aware of your body image, and you're like, oh, I'm different. Like if you're a curvier girl, and then that goes into like corporate life too, right? It's like, oh, so if I wear the cute jean shorts at work, it's considered slutty and inappropriate because my bum looks a certain way in these shorts. But if somebody else wears them with a different body type, it's not. Also, I think like the media, right? Like Latinos are so over sexualized in the media, like especially like what like 2000s, and like just the like Latinas are always like that sex symbol or like that spicy girl. It's like, what if you're not that kind of Latina though? You know? So
That's why like I'm like, I never felt like I fitted.
yeah.
Right. And then people were like, if you're Latina, why are you so white? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Like, I'm sorry I did.
Right. I'm like, I wish I was more tan too, but like,
yeah.
I don't know. I know what you mean though. The dressing, the everything. I was so conflicted because I was like, what? And then I think there was a point where I was happy with the way my body was. Like, I was like, it's okay. Like, it was skinny. I was never over 95 pounds. I always stayed at 95 pounds.
Because of
I was just like small. My mom's petite.
Okay.
I stayed at 95 pounds, and then I gained some weight because I had my gallbladder taken out. So I gained weight, which I got to like 105. It apparently was a big deal because everyone could notice. So then I started getting so in my head about it, and I'll never forget a friend I had back then, lovely friend. I went to fucking Bikini Village, right? Because there was no Shein back then to order bikinis. Shein this is the last couple of years. So I went and tried on a bikini, and this bitch, she goes, "You're so brave, like wearing that bikini." She's like, "Girl, you need to squat." And I was like,
who is talking to people like this?
Yeah.
She should be fired. If
Right.
that was
No,
now-
that wasn't the girl working. That was my friend.
Oh,
That was my friend.
okay, wait. Is this person still your friend?
No, absolutely the fuck not. She's not my friend.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
for
then
firing her from your life.
I started getting so self-conscious. And then I was like,
It's
oh
that
my
one
God.
comment.
Like I didn't mind before. Like I didn't mind how skinny I was. I had my thigh gap, you know. I was like, oh, I don't have a bum, but it's okay. Like, and it just got so in my head, and it got worse and worse and worse that the last couple of years have been like, I mean, I've been so open. I don't really care. Like I've gotten the surgery, which everyone is so secretive. It's so common. Everyone goes to like Colombia to get it done, to Mexico, whatever, to do it. But no one wants to admit they got it. Everyone is like, oh my God, no, I worked out. And I'm like, the fuck you did. You don't get that body with just working out. And it's like, you don't even know what's real anymore because people keep it so secret. So I'm just like, when people are like, oh my God, like you look fit. I'm like, I look fit. I'm not fit. Like,
You're a real one for that. And I think that it's so important. Like, I don't have any surgeries. If I had surgeries, I would be talking about them right now because I think that it's not, my personal opinion is that if you have a surgery, I don't think it's that like the second you get the surgery, you should be on those. I actually don't think it's your responsibility to talk about it
no.
online, period. I think it's a little different where like, if you are pandering this message of like, look at my body or look at this, and making it seem like it was just naturally like how, I don't know. Okay, let me give a better example. The Kardashians. I think that, and it sucks to just pinpoint them because so many celebrities do this, but I remember feeling so like weirded out by the fact that there was like episodes about like them taking x-rays of Kim's bum to prove that there was no implants.
Because it was her fat.
Exactly. And I think that's really like, because mind you, like she's a woman and like it makes me sad that like we still talk about women's bodies this way, but obviously they're in a different category. Like they are celebrities. They have public platforms. Like at the end of the day, they're going to be regarded very differently than like you and I, they have people to answer to, right? So when that was all happening and just like seeing all the girls like slowly change and shift before our eyes and them never talking about it, but still always showing their workouts and like how clean they eat. I'm like, that's misleading because that's not true. And so many little girls look at like all of them, but then especially like with Kylie, remember the whole fiasco, like
with her lips and how it was overlining.
And now we look back and we're like, it was not, I'm sure at the time for her, it probably felt like the end of the world because media did make it seem like a big deal. But like looking back now, I'm like, everyone gets lip filler, like wasn't that serious? But the way they handled that was like to the point where I'm like, oh my goodness, this is affecting a generation of women. Well, to be fair, she was also
like 17.
Yes. It was the age too, right? Yeah. All those things. So I think about them. Then on the other spectrum of that, there's Cardi B, who when every time she got something done, I'm not saying that like someone like you or I or anyone else has to be like Cardi B, but I do respect the fact that like every time she got a surgery or got work done, she was on her stories like talking about it and stuff like that. And like it just making it known, right? That like, hey, like I'm not just built like this, like I paid to get this done. I think that's really important. Like I don't know, even the way you're talking about it right now, I'm like, I love that. I love that so much because at the end of the day, like do what you want. It's your body, but also like be careful with the message you're spreading. Because
and that's why I could never be like that. I never want to be like a poster child for body positivity because I'm not even there. Like I love my surgery. I do. Like I've had some. I had some in December and stuff, and I'm happy with it. Mm. But also, it's like now I want to fix something else. So I'm like, you never win with it. And I rather just be honest about it because I don't want people to be like, oh my God, you look so good. And it's like, well, I don't feel so good still, even though like I did it. And then I was like looking into it and like making notes about like, talking about today. And funny enough, it was like ChatGPT got so deep and it was like, Kat, your body was never the problem. The pain was. And I was like, okay, getting a little too personal there. But I think like I always share when I have stuff done. I don't really care. Like, because everything, even if it looks natural, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't. Like mine doesn't look overdone. Like, but it's still not real. Like it's still not.
I wouldn't know.
I'll give you a whole breakdown. But like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's just easier to be honest. I don't care. I'm that person who's like, I'm going to tell you, you're going to look at pictures of like me a couple years ago. And like, I'm sorry, but like, I didn't have like big boobs and the waist wasn't that small. So I'm not going to lie. Like there's only so many things that you can kind of achieve yourself. But there's so many people that lie. Right. And they're just like, yeah, no, that's how I got it. And I still don't think I fit that sexy Latina image where it's like you're curvy. I'm still like skinny. Like I still feel really small and like not totally happy because I'm like, I wanted a bigger butt. And the doctor's like, there was only so much fat on you that we could take. Like, so.
Do you feel like when if you don't mind me asking, because now I'm curious, like, because you're such an open book, and I really appreciate that about you. So, like, thank you for sharing that
Ask
with
away.
me, and also with the world, because you said so yourself. You are always an open book. But I'm like, do you feel like what was that ultimate thing that like made you feel like you wanted to like start getting work done and stuff? Or maybe there's people in your shoes, and like, what was your experience with that?
So I'm very impulsive, which is a good and bad thing. I mean, the impulse is bad because I can spend a lot of money and do some things. So I don't think a lot before I do things. And I don't think anyone should do that.
You're
like
so real for that.
I'm not like, I'm going to think about it and research for a year. Like I decided I wanted my boobs done. That was like my first surgery. And I booked it within 2 months. Like I went to 2 doctors and I was like, cool. But that's just me, right? Like I'm just like, done. I'll get it booked. And then after that, I'm like, well, I feel a little disproportionate. Now I have big boobs, and my gallbladder. So I had gained weight. So I'll show you a picture after. It wasn't anything crazy, but it did. So then during COVID, I think I was just watching so much shit, like consuming so much social media that it got so in my head. And then that's also when the comment had been done about how I should have squat and I should get abs and this. It got in my head so bad. I went for a consult in January and then I was getting surgery in March.
Wow.
So, and yeah, I'm hoping, I'm like, I don't, no more. Like I should be good. Like I did get, and then December, like I'm just giving you a whole breakdown.
I love this though. You're so real.
December, it was actually for a reason. Like I had to get my implants changed out because I was having problems. So I was like, hey, I'll change it out. And I was like, well, I'm already here. So I did my arms. And then my mom's so cute. She's like looking at pictures. She's like, your arms were really fat. Like
Your mom kills me.
she's like, they look like your thighs. I was like, they weren't that fat, but that's also the thing, right? Like you fix one thing and then you don't know the consequences. So I didn't know that when you lipo one part of your body, the fat is going to go to other parts. So then I wasn't getting it on my stomach, but then my arm started to get big.
I never knew that. I don't know much about that. So that's really interesting to know.
Think of like twisting like a balloon animal. That's how I think of it, right? Like you take it from one part and it goes somewhere else. So like I said, like I rather be honest because I feel shitty when people are like, you look so good. And I was like, I feel bad. I don't want people to think like, okay, yes, like she was born like that. Cause like, no, what do people say? I remember I saw that meme and it was like, no one's ugly. They're just poor.
That though, I think people like with social media too, right? People forget that like what you're comparing yourself to is either not real or costs a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
Look at J-Lo. The girl really tried. Love you, J-Lo, but also you tried.
Oh, I can't stand her, so that's okay.
I mean, this is a safe space. You can own your opinion. I mean, J-Lo, you are J-Lo. And you told us that your face was because of, I remember she was saying like,
Oh my God, her fucking skincare.
But before she came out with her
olive oil.
skincare line, she said her secret was to like not aging or like having her amazing skin was just olive oil. Something along those lines. And I remember thinking like, I can't believe she thinks we believe that. And that's the thing, right? Like not just her, but anyone like her. Like you can't expect us to like, we're not that dumb. Like there's so much more behind that.
But I wouldn't even say dumb. It's like naive on some people, right? Because I feel bad. Some people believe it because they're just like, oh, okay, so I'm going to try that. And then she comes out with her skincare and it's like, I'm going to try that too. And it's.
That just made me remember too, like, do you remember the whole trend of like skinny teas?
No.
And like there was like really heavily in like 2013 to like 2016. I feel like there was just this like huge push from influencers on Instagram about like this skinny tea and like it was like basically.
Oh yes. I thought you said skin teas. Skinny tea. Oh yes, I remember.
And then like I remember thinking like, what is the difference between like this tea and like a green tea or perhaps a laxative? And I'm like, I just can't believe that like social media is still wild now. That was like the wild, wild west where like you could push anything and like you'd get probably a lot of customers because like social media was still kind of new and growing. You didn't know what to believe or what not to believe. You didn't know what was filtered, what wasn't filtered. And now with like AI, I think it's interesting that like platforms like Instagram and others like it are like forcing you to like put a label like, hey, there's AI.
Or even the ads. Like you have to hashtag like ad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So. And I think there's like growth in that, right? Like I do fear for like younger girls who are gonna well, girls and boys, but like I'm just thinking of girls because we're girls. We know what it's like to grow up in this world. And like I think for you and I, like social media was still quite new. But like, if we have kids, like, and they get exposed to this, like it's just gonna be so different. So I'm grateful that like they're trying to get on top of that and put these labels and like disclaimers and stuff. But I'm like, still, it's gonna be hard.
I feel like the next generation is already better off though, because one, their parents, I mean, hopefully, but like, the parents will have therapy. They know what therapy is.
Yes, we're all doing therapy
right
now.
Like everyone is actually being self-aware and wanting to fix what was wrong. And I think they're already like smarter. Like they just do things better. I think millennials had it so bad. Like we had it so fucking bad with all that. Like I'm telling you, that thigh gap has haunted me for years. Like I would go and I'd be like, okay, cool. I still have a thigh gap. Like
it's just kind of scary though, because like I feel like history is repeating itself. Like I remember seeing, again, I'm so sorry to bring up the Kardashians. Honestly, they're a big part of the body image conversation because they've dominated the media since 2010. Like, that's a 15, 20, I can't do math, 20, oh my God, 50. Okay, they've been out like 20 seasons of the Kardashian, like,
yeah.
I think that they had a lot of influence on body image, but like it just the fact that I remember like seeing some headlines circulating. They're like, oh, they're all reducing their BBLs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and not just them, like other people, like just Ozempic, like all these things, right? I'm like, hear me out. I have nothing against Ozempic or what people do to lose weight. I don't think it's like, a lot of people like try to attack people that do these things saying that this is the easier route, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that. People who get gastric bypass surgery.
None of that shit's easy.
I don't
like,
think it's easy. I actually think it's harder to make those decisions, right? So like, that being said, I'm just saying that like the trend of like what the ideal body image is or standard is in North America, I feel like it's kind of going back to like, it scares me to think we're going back to early 2000s, like even with the low-rise jeans, like, and it's crazy because body image like transcends like everything we consume, media, clothes, like just
changes for women.
Yes.
Not for men.
Specifically for women. How are you doing, men? Because I think you guys are just fine. But no, it's so exhausting as a woman sometimes because you're just like, how do I keep up? Like, and then you're aging. When men age, like they somehow become more sexy to people. Like people are like when women age, it's so hard on us because it's like we're getting criticized like with each decade. With men, it's like remember George Clooney? Like I feel like the older he got, the more people like loved him. That's not my type, but like, I'm just like, why is it so men can age gracefully, women can't? Men can gain weight, no one bats an eyelid, women can't. It's just, and then even if men do get criticized, it's like, well, this has been happening to women for decades. It's like we can't win sometimes. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that like even myself, I'm like how I'm trying to navigate how I want to be, like how I want to treat myself and like how I want to treat, if I get to have kids, like how I want to treat them. And like that's so much pressure also too, like to decide how you want to teach that to a little human. Like it's so much pressure.
Yeah. No, I think that's one of the reasons too. I'm like, I can't. I'm not even done teaching myself, let alone try and like train a child. Like I can't. But it's true. Like I see comments all the time. Like Shakira's concert. It's Shakira. Like, see, I don't like J-Lo. I don't really care about like a lot of that. But Shakira is fucking Shakira. Okay. I think she looks great. She seems beautiful, natural for the most part. I think she's had like a tummy tuck or something, but I think she looks great. It's always the ugly ass dusty men that are on there. Like she's aging like milk. She looks fat. Like the woman does not look fat whatsoever. She's wearing like a purple spandex suit, and the comments were fucking disgusting. It was literally like, oh wow, she should really not dress like that anymore. And it's like, okay, but then if she doesn't dress sexy, it's like, why is she dressing like an old lady?
That's like, I also think it's like, oh my goodness, it's always the keyboard warriors that like could not even, do people understand? Like, have you seen one of her, even like 2 minutes of one of her concerts, one of her shows, like that is endurance, that is stamina at her age too, like extra bonus points. Like, not that she's so old, but like I am 30 and I get tired.
What, 50?
Almost 50, I think she's 48, 49. And like, I get winded after a flight of stairs. Okay. And I'm not like, even anywhere near her age right now. And I'm like, please take several seats. First of all, she looks amazing. Second of all, people are wild. And third of all, it's like, again, can never win.
But she's 50, and think of how the Golden Girls looked. And weren't they like 40 when they were filming? And they still look like so old.
I know.
But
I know.
It's wild. And trust me, like I had like some, you always get mean comments, right? I had like a guy be so mean. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to go look for your LinkedIn and message your boss. And that's what I did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Like I was
oh my God, Kat.
No, like I was like, okay. And I like had a smart ass response and he kept going and he kept going. And I was like, okay, fine. You want to be a fucking asshole. All because this man was disgusting. All because I said no. First of all, stop sending dick pics.
This is exactly why it happened.
Okay. And then he got so mad and
you rejected him.
Yeah. So then I went to, I went to look for his fucking work. And then I was like, this is the type of person you hire. And these are the pictures you sent. And I was like, here you go.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm sure one
day. Did they respond to you?
If I ever go missing, it's because that man found me. And is
no. Well, I mean, your testimony's here now.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. You see online, I'm like, everything is a simulation at this point because it's all you could do is really go to therapy.
Yeah.
Try and trauma dump. Therapy is expensive. So mimosa then, if like that works, and just at least everyone's admitting to it, right? Like I don't think you'd ever see your little niece or nephew and be like, oh, you're fat. No. Even if it's cute, you'd never be like, estás gorda.
See, like that's what I'm saying. Like you're right. I think we are breaking that like generational trauma because you're right. I would never say that. But we grew up with that or a variation of that. And it's so wild to me. And like, it's like what you were saying, like, we're hopefully going to be different and better. Because maybe they didn't know.
And I mean, like, just to end it off, I have to say, as fucked up as it says, we're all acknowledging if we have mental illness, like whether that be like anything you're diagnosed with. As we're our family, they still won't talk about that. They won't admit it. You tell them you have like ADHD or anything like that, they'll be like, huh? No.
It's because you're always on your cell phone.
Yeah.
Like it's always something.
It's always your phone. It's always something. You're watching too much TV. It's not a real thing. Right. And it goes back to the whole reason I started Mujeres. It's like, it is real. Like, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, it's not who you are, but it is a part of you. Right. Like, I don't go around and I'm just like, I'm a bipolar bitch. Like, no, that's part of me. And like, I can fully embrace it, but it's not who I am. So, but I still think a lot of my family, like when I talk about it, they're just like, oh, like, don't say that about yourself. Like, you're not crazy. I'm like, I didn't say I was crazy though. Like, I was like, I didn't say I was crazy.
You said that.
Like, I'm just a little different. Okay. Like I handle things different and I'm very sensitive, but like, and that was the thing that I'm trying to understand. Like, why are you over dramatic? And I was like, I'm not dramatic. Like I'm a child suffering. Okay.
I love that.
I'm a 30-year-old child suffering.
Keep normalizing it.
But I mean, that was the whole thing. And I'm hoping, and everyone's so open. So I'm glad you were like open to talking about this today and just.
We could talk about this forever. There's so many layers. Yeah. Like, thank you for inviting me on.
Of course.
Thank you for being so easy to talk to. I think that what you're doing is amazing. I hope you feel the love from your community and don't stop what you're doing. I'm giving you your imaginary flowers. I should have brought flowers.
And me with my awkward, I can't take compliments as usual.
Oh my God. She's self-aware though.
I get so self-aware. Weird. Even at work, they'll be like, you did good. And I'm like, hey.
Like, did I?
I make a joke out of it. I'm like, I could have done better. Like, but no, thank you. Like,
yeah, to getting better at accepting compliments because you're killing it.
Trying. Thank you. No, I'm so happy you came on, and I'm so happy we saw each other again since we missed each other at the concert. But
I know.
Cheers.
Cheers to body image and therapy.
Better, yeah.